Hello, hello. So I didn't have a ton of people sign up for this. It was very low key and last minute, but I got the questions that were submitted and I'm more than happy to answer those on here. And of course, if anybody pops in live, I will chat with them. But I just figured I would answer the questions and then send those of you who signed up this recording that you can watch it. And of course, if you have any questions, message me on Instagram. You guys know where to find me there. Or you can email us at info@carrotsandcake, and we're happy to answer your questions there. And we start on Monday. So you got to make a decision if you're going to do this or not. And what I always tell people when they're trying to decide is that not making a decision is still making a decision. And if you are doing the same things over and over again, and you decide not to do this, nothing's going to change. So it's mostly to say, this is a different approach. I have been doing this for many, many years with women. They have great results. If you've checked out the landing page, you can see and listen and read all of the testimonials. Women do really love this program and they get great results. So I do think it is a very different approach from probably what you've seen typically with diet culture and diets and fitness programs and all the sparkly, shiny things that we see. It really does kind of get back to basics, but with some very flexible structure in the sense that it's very carrots and cake where, I'm pretty low key, where, we're mostly eating healthy foods, but we're allowing some of the fun stuff. And we're taking a lot of that like mental stress out of it as far as what's good, what's bad, if you're on track or off track. And of course, taking some of the stress out of this process and really giving your body a chance to get healthy and planning your nutrition and periodizing it will get you better results in the long run. And I just feel like you don't have to continue to struggle. You don't have to continue to suffer. I feel like some of this is crazy at times. I've been there too. I mean, I'm not to say that like I haven't gone through a lot of this myself. I mean, I was that eating Kashi and Light and Fit yogurt and spending an hour on the elliptical. Like I was that girl for many, many years. And then even in my 30s, would do a 5-mile run and then do a CrossFit class and then take a yoga class. And I was eating more then, but probably not as much as my body needed. So I've been through all the things. And if you follow me on Instagram, I did share kind of my story with over exercising and stress and all that, and just what it did to my health. So, I mean, if you're somebody who does feel like they just don't have that same motivation, that pep in their step, they don't look forward to their workouts, used to be a runner and now doing a 3-mile run is exhausting. I can relate, and I feel like this would be a good option for you as far as the 8 weeks, and really taking the time to look at what you're currently doing, assessing if it's working or not. And if it's not working, being open to taking a different approach. And my approach is different. But anyways, let me dive into these questions. I did answer a few on Instagram yesterday. There's a video in my feed. It's probably about like 10 to 12 minutes of me yammering on about, some commonly asked questions. But one was about whether or not the program is for beginners. And yes, very much for beginners. If you're new to macros, or if you're somebody that has tracked macros in the past, definitely check that out. I also talk about the Zoom calls. Like if you can't make them, they're all recorded. And if you have questions, you can always ask them on the group chat. And that's why I offer the group chat, because not everybody can make noon on a Tuesday. I mean, it works for some people, but I know there's some people that just have jobs that don't allow that. So I wanted an option that you could ask questions, you could be involved in a conversation, you could get that live coaching so it's through that WhatsApp app. But you can text through it, you can leave quick voice messages, but you can do it, at your convenience. So pretty much 24/7, you can leave messages. And the last question was about the workouts, if they're required and they're not required. If you're doing another program or you do CrossFit or Peloton or whatever it is, and you like that, great. You just have 8 weeks worth of workouts that you can save for later. You can do them when you travel, if you end up at a hotel. If you decide you want to switch up your workouts, you have a whole 8-week program with all the movements and exercise demos and a training plan and all that good stuff. So those were the 3 questions that I answered more in detail. So check out that video over on Instagram. I'll put it in the email that I sent you guys too. So I'll send that too. So if you want to get a little more information. Okay, so let me answer the questions that you guys submitted. I'm like a camel today. Okay, so the question is, how in depth does the macro planning go? Will I end up with a month's worth of menus for myself? So the macro planning definitely goes into depth, but we are not planning menus. There are no menus, there are no sample menus. I mean, if you want a sample menu, I can always send one your way. I mean, I've been doing this nutrition thing for a long time and I have tons of sample menus, all sorts of stuff that's really helpful, but I have done the meal plans. I have been there, done that, and I don't think it works long term. I mean, anybody can follow a meal plan short term, but are you going to be following a meal plan for 6 months, 6 years, the rest of your life? I just don't think it makes sense and it's not realistic. And I do think it makes women crazy. So there are no meal plans involved in this program, but we will use macros to plan out your nutrition. So there are different phases of nutrition, and planning out these phases and knowing what to expect and knowing what to do in each of these phases is going to get you the best results. And I think when you do plan this out and you know kind of what to expect, how long things are going to take, how to adjust your macros, all that stuff in these individual phases, it takes a lot of that frustration out of the process. And also you get better results because you are setting your body up for success. So with each individual phase, you will know exactly how to do it, you know, how to calculate your macros, how to determine, you know, what a deficit might be, how to do a reverse diet, how to increase calories if you decide that you want to do a bulk and put on additional muscle. So we will learn all about macros. We'll learn how to calculate your maintenance calories, so your total daily energy expenditure based on how much activity you are doing in your life. And then what each of those phases would look like based off those maintenance calories and where you are with your nutrition. So we will definitely get into it with macros as far as calculating, adjusting them, you know, certain biofeedback measures that you're going to look for. So for example, like if you feel like garbage during your workouts or you're really not recovering, like you're super duper sore, it could be because you're not getting enough carbs before and after your workout. So that would be a reason to increase your carb intake. If you're somebody who is always hungry between meals, or you just feel like you kind of have like highs and lows as far as hunger and blood sugar, it might be a reason to add more fat to your diet. So little things like that we'll talk about, so you'll know how to adjust your macros for each phase of nutrition. And then also I really get into my approach to macros because there's a bazillion macro programs out there where they're just telling you to hit your macros and they're just decreasing your calories, and you'll get results because, you know, I could crash diet anyone, you could crash diet, but we know in the long run, it's not good for your health, not good for your metabolism, not good for your hormones, makes you crazy and hungry and cranky, and it's not sustainable. Like most people just gain that weight back. I mean, sure, you lose weight, but where does it leave you? I mean, if anything, you probably gain back more than you lost and you're just kind of back where you started. So we'll talk about my approach. It's a lot more low key. A lot of times clients are tracking ranges of macros. So you have some wiggle room. They're taking days off from macros or purposely taking off days. We talk about how to plan, you know, dining out, vacations. Although I don't know if you really want to track on a vacation, you might. But times where you might not want to track, how to do it more loosely, guesstimating, what to prioritize as far as like hitting your goals. So we really get into all that stuff because the thing about macros is I don't think there is one right way to do it that will get everybody results. I really think it's individual. And I think there are different ways to track macros and different amounts of accuracy that you can apply to macros and still get results. Because at the end of the day, it really is what you can do consistently and what you enjoy doing. I mean, there are people that do this program that don't even like tracking macros. I mean, I'm kind of in that category. I think they're important. And if I was to do a cut, I'd be tracking macros, but the rest of the time, I'm not tracking macros. I mean, I might check in with myself here and there to make sure I'm getting enough protein or getting enough fiber or getting enough potassium or, you know, whatever I'm into as far as data and information. But the goal is not to track macros for the rest of your life. It really is just prioritizing when you are tracking them and making them work for you. And I mean, there's a whole module about making macros work for you. And over the 8 weeks, you know, you can try some new things. You can bounce ideas off me and the other women in the group. But we're really trying to have you figure it out for yourself because I don't think you need to hit your macros on the dot every single day. And personally, we don't eat like that. I mean, we're not robots. We're not eating the exact same food every single day, and every single day is a little bit different. Think about it. Like some days you work out, some days you don't work out. Some days you have a really long, crazy, stressful day, and other days you don't have time to eat, or you just feel like eating chocolate all day. I mean, there's so many variables that go into this. So to say that you need to eat a specific way every single day and track your macros to a T, I just think that's crazy. So all this to say, I love macros. I think they're great. There's a lot of reasons to use them, but I have a very flexible approach to them. So it's flexible structure is like what I like to call it. So we'll talk about all the different reasons why you might use them, why you might not use them. But there is no meal plans or anything like that. You can eat whatever you want. There's no food lists. You guys know, like I eat healthy food, but then I eat Cheetos and I drink wine. I just ate some gluten-free cookies. I mean, it's Friday. So there's no eat this list, don't eat this list. You can eat whatever you want, but that's what we can talk about too. You know, how are your food choices? I'm more than happy to look at food diaries, things like that. But I am here for you, and I'm very, very accessible over the 8 weeks. All right, what else do we got for questions? That was a long answer to that one. How to get on the weight loss train with hypothyroidism. I'm 67 and getting bigger, not smaller. So yeah, hypothyroid. Hormones and thyroid stuff and metabolism, it's not directly addressed in this program. There are some bonus modules that you can watch on your own to get some additional information about hormones, seed cycling, cycle syncing, like a lot of the things you guys hear me yap about on Instagram. But if you do have, you know, a specific health situation like hypothyroidism, low thyroid, I am more than happy to help you. I mean, that's why I'm here. That's why we do the live coaching. So you can ask on the Zoom calls, you can ask on the chat. I am more than happy to send resources your way or help you out. I am going to offer you guys discounted functional testing. So if you wanted to run the Dutch test, which is the hormone test, or the HTMA, which is the mineral test, you guys can run those. So I will give you guys the details for that, but that can give you some more info as far as what's going on. So for this person who asked with the hypothyroidism, the HTMA can be really, really helpful as far as just seeing what's going on with your mineral balancing, because there are certain minerals that will show, you know, an imbalance with thyroid. And when those minerals are out of balance, it can slow down your metabolism, which very much relates to the thyroid. But there are certain things that you can do to balance those things out. So indirectly, yes, we can absolutely talk about this. And, you know, I do thyroid stuff with my one-on-one clients all the time. So if that's something that you guys want to talk about on Zoom calls or want to talk about on the chat, let me know. I have tons of thyroid information. There's definitely kind of foundational things that you can do as far as your diet and lifestyle that might make a really big difference. And then of course, you know, if you want to do one-on-one coaching or testing, you know where to find me. So even though that's not directly part of this program, you know, planning your nutrition is really, really important. So, I mean, I think this would go hand in hand with getting healthier in general. So if you're somebody that's in the thyroid group, or you have metabolism stuff, blood sugar stuff, hormonal stuff, we could talk about it all. I mean, we had a number of those thyroid conversations in the last group because there's so many women that are dealing with thyroid stuff. I mean, I even have dealt with thyroid stuff too. I mean, it's getting better. We're checking it next week, but yeah, I mean, it's super duper common. So we can absolutely talk about that. What else we got? Worried I'll pay for it and it won't work. Also, I don't know how much or don't know much about macros really, and wondering if I should learn more before taking this program on. How beginner friendly is it for a macro newbie? Okay, so yeah, I went over that and on Instagram, so feel free to listen to that. Happy to answer it again. So totally for beginners. I don't think you need to learn anything behind the scenes. When you sign up, there's a getting started guide that really like starts with the basics. Like, this is what macros are. This is how many calories are per macro. This is why you want to track macros. There's kind of a like cheat sheet almost for MyFitnessPal, like how to get started with MyFitnessPal, how to start tracking. There's a cheat sheet as far as like the types of foods that you want to eat for each of the macros. So that's something that you can start right off the bat. You can start, digging into that even before we officially start on Monday. But then the first module is all about macros too. So I do go into some of like the basic stuff, but then I really do go more into like the actionable things, like how to plan your plate or how to plan your meal or how to hit your protein goal. Some of these like actionable, tangible, like how do you do them things. I get into all that. So it's definitely for beginners. And that's the thing. I'm here as your coach. I can walk you through it. I can help you out. And actually at the beginning of the program, you guys are all going to do a nutrition audit. So it's going to require you to weigh and measure your food, to read packages, to read labels, to track your food. So it's a good chance for you to practice. And of course you have me and you have the WhatsApp chat and you have the Zoom calls to check in and ask questions. So if you're trying to track something and you're like, I have no idea how to do this, or I have no idea how to weigh it, you can just send me a quick message and I will help you out, or one of the other women in the group will help you out. So you definitely don't need to be an expert at this. If you're interested in learning to track macros, I will teach you. And it is not hard. And it's like anything in life. Like when you're a beginner, yeah, it's going to take a little more time. You're going to be slow at it in the beginning, but the more you do it, the better it becomes. And then it just second nature practically. Like for me to track a whole day of macros, it probably takes me like a minute. Like I've been doing it so long. And with like MyFitnessPal, there are so many shortcuts and easier ways to do it. And you can copy and paste things and repeat meals. And like, there's so many easy ways to do it. So I can definitely help you there. If you need a little hand holding and support, I am there. And as far as like doing it and not completing it or like not getting results or whatever it is, I mean, I will do everything in my power to help you succeed. But at the end of the day, you need to be accountable to yourself. And I think just having some confidence in the process is really important. And with this whole program, it's all about that. Like I am teaching you how to do this. I'm empowering you to do this. So when you decide that you want to do a reverse diet, you're going to know what to do. You're going to know what to expect. You're going to know how to add more food, how to deal with the scale, how to decide if your reverse diet's over, when to go to maintenance. You're going to know all these different things. So I lay it all out there with the specifics of how to do it. Again, it's going to depend on the individual and, what's working and not working. But there are so many metrics to measure, so many ways to know. But that's all in this course. And of course, if you need help after this program, we do have a lifestyle group, and a lot of the women from past groups have gone to this group. So you do have the option to have even more support moving forward. And you guys know where to find me. I'm always on Instagram. You have my email address. Like if you have questions, like it's so easy for you to ask and get a response. And the coaches on my team will help me with that sometimes too. And they're amazing. So I think this program is very different from a lot of other diets and programs, because I think with those, they're very restrictive. They're trying to fit an individual person into a box as far as what's required. Like I think of like Whole30 or faster way to fat loss or whatever the diet or program is. They're taking you as an individual who has their own unique needs, their own challenges, their own mindsets, their own family life, their own favorites and preferences, and taking them and telling you to do this very specific diet or thing that you may like or not like or get stressed out about, or you know what I mean? There's so many factors that go into it. And with this program, the 8-week program, my program, I'm giving you so many options that would potentially work for you, but helping you figure out what that is. So like tailoring this program to you and your preferences and your personality and like all these things is what's going to get results, because at the end of the day, it's about being consistent and doing things that you believe in or things that you are going to move the dial for you as far as getting your results and getting you the best results. So I think you will do great. It's a small group. We have 10 women right now. It's big enough that we're going to have, good conversations and different perspectives, but small enough that you're going to get plenty of my attention, and I will do my best to not let you peace out and like ghost on the whole process. And then also, I mean, worst case, like if this overwhelms you, you can always message me. I will help you out. I mean, I am a very nice person. I will do my best to help support you. And then also you have access to all these materials. So like down the road, if you want to revisit these things or you want to try things a different way, you have access to all these materials. So even though you're signing up for an 8-week program, you have this information forever and always. So I mean, you can do what you wish with it. All right. I think I have answered all the top questions. Like I said, I'll send this to you guys. I'll send the Instagram post. And then if anything pops up, just send me an email or send me a DM. More than happy to chat. We start Monday, so don't dilly-dally. But would love to have you. I think you would love this program. And I'm very excited to get going on Valentine's Day. And I hope you guys have a lovely weekend and Super Bowl. And you know where to find me if anything pops up.